No matter what. I pledge allegiance to the flag. As to flag of policy, with those signatures by all those are particular. Special event application, recreation director.
Council, where, when you were on wedding application, the only new application is for the line dancing license. Any questions?
Thank you.
Yes, I have, summer vacation program, and again, June 30th, and it runs through August 8th, 12 to 4:30 p.m. It's at Service Marshall, Martin Luther King Middle School, and Grafton Schools. All payments are non-refundable, so please bring the exact amount of money. Please see the director is Felicia Floyd, if you want to register your child. Also, at the table there, we have savings for our seniors workshop. This is for those who are interested in getting a tax refund. So we're having a senior freeze workshop. It will be July 14th. So we'll be here at the chamber. There is a flyer on the table there. And then also the line dancing classes. So if you ever been to a party, everyone lives out there doing the line dancing and you go wow. You can learn. That begins July 7th, excuse me, July 10th, and will run through July 31st from 6 to 8 p.m.
Thank you, Councilor Chad.
Yes, I'd just like to let everyone know that the 4th of July fireworks are actually taking place on July 3rd. So we just want to pay an Asbury Park between 1st and 5th. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Lee. Thank you, Deputy Mayor Quinn.
No.
Thank you.
It's something just very brief, and this morning there was an incident on the beach front where unfortunately one of our lifeguards developed by umbrella. She's out of surgery, she's doing fine, and just wish her the best in the future. Hopefully, in a week or two, she'll be back on the bench. It's been on TV, it's been on the news. But we're not going to ignore it. Dr. said, his prayers, but she's doing fine. So just heads up for everybody to know.
Thank you. Good evening, nothing to add. Thank you. And Mayor, City Attorney.
Thank you.
Thank you. We're now called for his participation. May I have a motion to open the meeting to public? All in favor? Public participation portion of the meeting is now open. Any member of the public who wishes to speak, please use the microphone, state your name and address for the record, and there will be a 3-minute time limit for each speaker.
Let me just start off with some legal housekeeping. There's an ordinance on labor version in the agenda. You can speak at both. Speak now, speak then, but just want to let you know, like, the main, that ordinance will be towards the end of the meeting. So, you speak then about that. The right time to speak about anything.
Okay. Hello, I'm Ryan Krishna, from 296 Avenue. I'd like to ask a question. Connecting annual parking from back into ending annual parking. If we were coming from Ocean on 6, start off in first block you hit, you go into annual parking, head in. Then once you cross Kingsley, under the plan, you're now going to be anchor parking button, which doesn't make any sense. For us, we're just going once, somebody coming down the street, it was headed in, and all of a sudden now they're parking, they go back in. One, the other thing is, with these people backing in, you have a source going from the cars that are idling, and while they're loading, all this exhaust is getting closer to our houses, our porches, our yards, our properties, the windows, doors, all that exhaust is coming into our property. That just doesn't make any sense to have. We've also have. The other thing that I would ask is that we part out, it goes to the circle, on Sixth Avenue. And if we look at the plan, is the benefit that you're getting from widening the street from, for 207 and 209, you're getting no benefit at all as far as parking spaces, you're losing green space. It just doesn't make any sense to what, I'm asking you that you park it out, if you want to do the construction plan on Sixth Avenue, park out those two houses so that you don't lose any parking. In fact, you gain a parking spot by leaving the street as is for that section, and you gain additional green space. So, but in addition, there does seem to be a need to widen this sidewalks for that area. It's a residential area. It's not like it's a commercial area where we have a lot of foot traffic. It's a residential area. So expanding the sidewalk from 6 feet to 7.5 feet just doesn't make any sense. It's overkill. We also have to use the sidewalk as they are because the sidewalk is much more and more pleasant to look at than concrete. The other thing I look at is that all this work that's being done on Sixth Avenue, in the Sixth Avenue section, will only add 6 additional parking spaces. So the question is, A, how much is this infrastructure going to cost you? And do we really need this to be done on that section of Sixth Avenue when you're not getting any gain or very little gain? Thank you very much for your time. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
I'm Gabriella Caprana, 219 Sixth Avenue. I was here a couple times already. I thank you for your time, but I wanted to speak again on critical issues that will really impact your each neighborhood that you live in. The block between 6th and 7th, Kingsley and West, is home to many residents living in condos, apartment buildings, multifamily, and single-family homes. The vision for this block at the right in the waterfront redevelopment plan was that the entire block would be occupied for living. And you see the map on page 18, 22, and 24 is one large placeholder will be the plan that was meant to be applied to a block that was being fully developed. This doesn't make sense for our community. Our property sits on the corner of West. I will focus the concerns that we have with the changes proposed. On the east side, you'll find our home, a 50-foot wide lot and an apartment building, patios and balconies facing the street. The proposed plan calls for taking the right of way 30 inches to increase the 3-foot grassy apron into a 4-foot concrete paver apron with treatment. A retaining wall, which does sit on the right of way and for which we pay rent every year, will have to be removed and pushed back. And the garden that sits that's there, that's enjoyed by all Lake, not only the residents, but also the visitors always comment on how beautiful this garden will be. We will have less grass with water to be absorbed, increasing our flood risk for our house and also increasing liability toward the city since the house is never flooded in all the years. So further down the street, the residents of the apartments will lose their privacy by having a sidewalk leading to a few feet from patios and balconies. Dogs will have fewer places to relieve themselves. With the loss of the grassy apron, lawns in our garden, our street will become more sterile and less inviting. If the concern is to widen the apron to allow trees to be planted, trees can be planted in the current grassy aprons. There are many streets throughout the city that have, leaf of grass aprons or trees or flat. The street will keep its cohesive look with west side of the street where the grass aprons will remain, if the proposed changes are not. The waterfront redevelopment plan has been modified many times, since its inception. The maps on page 18, 22, and 24 show the plans have already been modified for our block, since the entire block is not being redeveloped. We are asking the city to apply a common sense approach and only make changes to West Street on sections where the entire block is being developed, 7 and 8. This will save Starfield money by avoiding the cost of pavers and building and rebuilding walls. More importantly, it will save the city money on maintenance needed for permeable pavers to the main. So I would really appreciate your consideration.
Good evening. My name is Bill Felder. I'm the CFO of First Off Management Company. We own and operate the Jersey Shore.
Address for the record, please, sir.
My home address?
Yeah.
Thank you. We own and operate the Jersey Shore Adult Daycare Center, currently operating 600 Main Street, in the great city of Asbury Park. I thank you for this opportunity to address this decision by the I'm joined today by some of the many Asbury Park residents that attend and care for the our centers. We have many more residents that are served, but not everybody was able to make it this evening. We're also joined by some of our amazing staff, many who reside in Asbury Park. These are the amazing people that make up the team of family at Jersey Shore Adult Daycare. We are here today to express our support for ordinance 2025-14, an amendment to the city Main Street development. This will allow our daycare to move from our current location at 600 Main Street to 1105 Main Street. Jersey Shore Adult Daycare has been a beacon, a part of Asbury Park community for 30+ years, 20 years under our ownership. We are proud to serve the community of Asbury Park and we care for the city's frail and elderly, as well as the disabled population. We are part of the fabric of the city. We are a good neighbor, we work with our neighbors to make sure that we are assets in this community. As you all know, we don't have any complaints about our current neighbors and our true assets in the city. There are many reasons we should approve this amendment today. First and foremost, it is an incentive to serve the community and part of Asbury Park. Two, the currently redeveloped area that we should have grandfathered the plan that was created, we're just moving a few blocks over. Three, the plan allows for child daycare and not allowing for senior or adult daycare with discrimination based on those vulnerable population. Four, this amendment is recommended for city planning board. And quote, the board finds the proposed amendments are consistent with the city master plan, the goals and objectives of MSRP. This amendment will allow the district to stay as required to continue to serve its residents, continue to employ members of this community, and flourish in the city that it serves. We ask for your support and we vote to pass this amendment. We have a lot of people here, and in lieu of each person getting up and saying their name, it's important if you can give handwritten statements of support. I don't know if that's acceptable or if you would rather each person get up and say their support for this amendment.
Sorry, sir.
Sure, absolutely.
Go ahead.
Would that be okay for the record to just hand in statements of support from all these amazing people
We
here?
already have to fill it out?
Yes.
Yes. We want to do that? Absolutely.
Okay. I think that would be easier on everybody, right? We're all here to support Jersey Shore Adult Daycare, right?
Yes, hello, but I want to get my voice heard.
You have to give us your name and address.
Okay, my name is Christina Lang. My address is 1400 4th Avenue. Listen, I've been trying since before Memorial Day weekend to get blue parking lines painted in my house because I'm handicapped. And this town is such unbelievable process. I'm getting a complete runaround. James Bonanno doesn't call back for weeks, and he said you have to go through the police. I go through the police, then all of a sudden they say it's not important enough for today's agenda. Well, it's important. You know what? It's summer, and I can't find parking at my own house, and this is ridiculous. We're 1.2 square mile town. I've lived in New York my whole life. I moved here 5 years ago. I've never seen such bureaucratic red tape. This is ridiculous. So it's very important to me that I could park at my own house. I pay $11,000 in taxes, and I have a very expensive house. I put hundreds of thousands of dollars in my house to renovate, make this neighborhood better. And now that I'm in need, you give me the runaround? This is ridiculous. So I want my agenda added right now, and I want to have my blue lines painted. I have 4 broken vertebrae, and I have a broken foot, and this is ridiculous that I have to go through hoops to try to get somebody to give me a handicap parking in my own house. I have neighbors that sit there and say 2 beds, first come, first serve. I should be able to park at my house, and I can't park at my own house. And I'm sick to death of getting a runaround from everybody in this city. This is ridiculous. So I want somebody to help me, and I don't want to get, oh, you got to speak to Bonanno. Oh, you got to speak to Officer Vargas. Oh, you got to get on the city council meeting. Oh, James Bonanno, oh, it's not important enough for tomorrow's agenda meeting. Really? It's really important for me to be able to park in my own house. So what do we need to do to get the blue lights painted? Because I'm sick and tired of getting the runaround. Yes, I'm done.
Number one, I apologize to get the runaround. It's the first time obviously working about it, so I can't ask them to be for the future. We, by the law, need a recommendation from the police department. Police department has to go out there and say, has to be done, and we get it approved. So that's the process.
Okay, but your police department, Officer Reed, is apparently got 1 foot out the door in retirement. So if I showed you my cell phone and how many times I've left him a voice message, and I've given him my card for persons with disability, I've given him my placard, and just because he's got 1 foot out the door and he's almost retirement, then I have to speak to Officer Vargas, and he's new to doing this and he's not sure how to do it. And then he says, okay, I finally have all the information. And then to find out that it didn't make it to today's council meeting, John, I live right across the street from you. You know my house. It's the blue house. I've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars renovating my house. And now this past year, I've had nothing but medical nightmares. I was in the hospital for 7 weeks. I have 4 broken vertebrae. I shouldn't have to go through this to be able to park at my house.
Can you furnish us, say us, send it to John Hayes?
Yes, I did.
City manager, all your emails.
Yes, I did.
Look into that.
This shouldn't be going on for over a month already. This is ridiculous. Since before Memorial Day weekend, I've been trying to get somebody to say to me that I can't park on my property, and my neighbors don't care. Their attitude is first come, first serve. It's street parking. So my placard means nothing unless there's blue lines painted, because then anybody could park right by my house.
So being told that it will be on the next council.
No, I can't wait till the next calendar. We're in the middle of summer right now. It's 92 degrees outside. And for me to have to circle around and try to find parking when I can't walk and I have a broken back in 4 places, it should not wait till the next meeting. That's why I drove here right now after a doctor's appointment and left my 16-year-old dog that's waiting for me to get his medication and to eat, because that's how important it is for me that I needed to come down here and be seen and be heard and say, I'm not waiting till July 9th to the next meeting.
Been heard, but we legally cannot do what I asked us to do.
You can't legally.
No, we cannot legally do.
Officer Reed has not returned any of my phone calls. This should have been in May. In May.
And I wish you would think sooner and look.
You know what? I tried calling to everybody. James Bonanno doesn't care about this.
Like, you're right, you live across the street from me. I'll move my car, you park right. Now, another thing, once that handicap parking spot goes up, it's not reserved for you. Anybody with a handicap spot can park there.
Okay, but you know what? The people that are weekenders that live on Jeffrey Street, that are in the row houses, and most of them live somewhere else in New York City, or they live in Hoboken, and they only come here to go to the beach on the weekends. People like that are not handicapped, then can't park where my house is. And it's not in front of my house. It needs to be on the side right by my gate, so it's easier for me to get into my house. Trying to enter in the front of my house is too difficult.
We get the police before we go where the police tells us. 21 feet from this street, 20 feet, so state exactly where it's going. Make sure that's where you want it. But just because that handicap parking signs going up, does that mean you're the only one that can park it? That's the law. That's the state law. I mean, I'm not the governor. I can't change.
I understand that, but John, I've been trying to do this since before Memorial Day weekend.
And I feel
Not now, June 25th, since before Memorial Day weekend.
I feel terrible, and we'll be on the next agenda. It's just no way.
I work at Microsoft. If I sat there and said that did this to my customers, I'd have no job, okay? This should not apply at our city, at our residents, where when somebody has a problem and they need to get something taken care of. And I shouldn't hear that, sorry, we only have 3 minutes. This is my life. This is a very big problem.
Okay, you made your point very clear. I totally agree with you, and we'll do on the next agenda. That's what you did, and I'm sorry.
Okay, well, you shouldn't be sorry. You should do something about it because you should see all the calls that I had into Officer Reed that he never returned any of my calls.
That's why I asked you the words so we can look at.
Okay, well, where's James Banana?
This is up.
Because he didn't return any of my calls to tell me what the procedure was.
That's what we looked into tonight. Again, I'm sorry to tell you your time about.
Okay, so who am I going to speak to tomorrow that's going to work with me instead of it being till July 9th?
So I think.
I'm sorry, who? John Hayes?
Cruiser utility.
Okay.
And there.
Okay, but it shouldn't wait till July 9th. That's weeks away already. I shouldn't have to wait when I've already tried and tried and tried and tried. This is ridiculous. Okay, we're a very small town. We're 1.2 square miles. We're not New York City where we've got millions of people living.
Sorry.
Listen, so my money, my tax money is no good and my renovations are no good? So I have a time limit to get somebody to help me with this?
Please asking you, like, that's it.
Okay, well, I'm gonna come here every single day until somebody tomorrow calls me. Okay, so I'm gonna cause a scene every single day until somebody hears me because I'm sick of being ignored for 6 weeks. Sorry, everyone. I'm sorry that you all had to hear this, but it's ridiculous that this town is such red tape.
Mary Leo, 1700 Webster here in Asbury. I actually want to thank you because we came before this council regarding what Gabriella and Frank were speaking about maybe about a month and a half ago, and you facilitated the meeting with many of the leaders that are in the room, and we definitely appreciate that. We heard you and you're hearing us. I mentioned to Michelle today, just a little follow-up on the construction that's going on, Kingsley 7th and 8th. And I was informed today, similarly, that we should reach out to the construction department because air quality and just the debris that's flying and the unkept nature of the construction zone. So I think Michelle gave you the right information to see when we contact someone from construction or zone to make sure that they come out and cut the remaining grass at the edges because now it's an empty lot. And conversely, on the opposite side where they're digging and throwing soil all over, do we have any code relative to having to spray it down? I worked in construction in the city And we would always throw water when you're digging a hole. So I'm just curious about that. Keeping the quality of life between 6, 7, 8, as we do go along with the process. So thank you again. Appreciate all you do for the town.
Mary, make sure you CC Adam and John Hayes on your reaching out to the construction, because I'm almost positive we have something that
Pertains to
that stops the dust.
I recommend that it's happening because there is,
And,
no, but because if they do it, they go out right away.
okay, gotcha.
I'll take care of it.
Thank you.
Hello, Mike Neal, 700 Asbury Ave. I just want to add a little bit to some of the things some of my wonderful neighbors here have brought up about parking and what's going on in the town. You just recently repaved all of Asbury Ave and painted all the lines to make it look nice and smooth, and it's fantastic. With the exception, whoever came up with this brilliant idea of a bike lane, car spaces, narrowing the road, it wasn't very bright. I look out my window every day. I now see 18-wheelers as they're going in either direction because they're nonstop up and down Asbury Ave. And I have to stop and wait because now the cars are so tightly packed together. Trucks can't pass each other. We have bike lanes on the inside where if you're in your car, somebody's going to zip up, open a door. Something's going to happen without a doubt. More importantly, now everybody's putting their garbage cans in that bike lane. I've been riding my bike up the bike lane, saying, no, this is fantastic. And at every driveway, you have to go out the street so you can come back in because you can't even get up the bike paths. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense. More importantly, I'm also becoming a lot because we know what's going on with this new church, that we're already losing parking spaces for 80 new units that are coming in. Well, in front of my house alone, they took 3 parking spaces away to put 1 spot. Doesn't make any sense to me. When you can easily fit 3 cars, why would we make a much larger area and limit the parking spaces that we all know there is not enough parking in Asbury? So whoever is planning the next road improvement, let's use our heads a little bit more so we can do things a little bit better. Somebody also brought up replacing all the bluestone, the slate, to put in cement down. If you look at Bond Street that they paved last year, ripped up all of the sidewalks, put down concrete, every single sidewalk is disintegrating already because you like to put salt down in the winter, salt eats through concrete. You know, I'm not an engineer, but it's pretty, it doesn't take a mad scientist to figure out what salt does to the ground. It does not seem to affect bluestone, so why don't we leave things alone instead of constantly trying to replace things, wasting money for no reason. Thank you very much.
What do you think? Give me your address, one.
700 Asbury Ave.
I just want to see about the great yellow spots on the
Yeah, I lost my parking spot. I now park in front of my driveway without a parking spot. I know I'm not going to pay that ticket if I ever get one, because I lost all my.
It's got a big ticket.
Second. Councilmember Anderson. Councilmember Nash. Councilmember Lee. Deputy Mayor. Mayor.
Yes.
Now, the consent agenda resolution, all matters listed on the consent agenda are collectively considered considered for approval. One, matters are considered to be routine in nature, and only no discussion of these items, discussion deciding on one or council, items, and set items shall be consent agenda, consent agenda, items be a resolution 2025-308 through 2025-301. Do I have a motion? Councilmember Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Dodd.
Yes.
Councilmember Lee. Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Yes.
Mayor Wilson. Yes. Moving on to the individual resolutions, resolution 2025-12, resolution approving a fee.
Second.
Councilmember Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Dodd.
Yes.
Councilmember Lee. Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Yes.
Mayor.
Yes.
Resolution 2025-313, resolution authorizing the contract to elect school for online application.
Move it.
Second.
Councilmember Anderson. Councilmember Dodd.
Yes.
Councilmember Lee.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn.
No.
Mayor.
No.
Resolution 2025-14, resolution awarding a contract for environmental services at 6163 Ridge Avenue.
Move it.
Second.
Councilmember Anderson. Councilmember Dodd.
Yes.
Councilmember Lee.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Yes.
Mayor.
Yes.
Resolution 2025-315, resolution awarding bid for Cookman Avenue, Wall Street, intersection improvements.
Second.
Councilmember Bez Anderson.
Question. When we talked about this, we wanted to make sure this is not done in the middle of the season, summertime. So I just want somebody to assure me this went out to bid and it's not going to be done. We're not going to be shut down, put out on ourselves.
It'll be posted on the intersection improvements.
Oh. Thank you.
Any other questions?
Yeah, you're right.
I'm sorry, call these. Councilmember Bez Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Johnson.
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Yes.
Mayor Moore.
Yes.
Resolution 2025-316, resolution approving change order number 8 for the new fire department.
Move it. Second. Yes.
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 Resolution 2025-317, resolution approving winter license with special conditions for non-automatic cost spheres LLC doing business as non-automatic for the 2025-2026 license. Councilmember Bez Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Johnson. Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Yes.
Yes.
Resolution 2025-318, resolution approving a liquor license with special conditions for Bond Street Bar and Grill LLC doing business as Bond Street Bar and Grill Package 1 on Rita for 2025-2026 licensing.
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Yes.
Mayor.
Yes.
Resolution 2025-319, resolution approving 2025-2026 alcoholic beverage control license for ABG Winter Holdings LLC doing business as Asbury Festival for beer license.
Yes.
We have a few additions to the consent agenda, and resolution 2025-322, so resolution approving 2025-2026 alcohol beverage control license with special conditions for George Easton.
Second.
Councilmember Bez Anderson. Councilmember
Yes.
Clayton. Deputy Mayor Quinn. Mayor.
Yes.
Resolution 2025-323, resolution approving 2025-2026 alcohol beverage control license for GTJ Inc. Which is James in the city of Asbury Park, County of Long Beach.
Move it. Second.
Councilmember Bez Anderson. Councilmember Chapman.
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Yes.
Mayor.
Yes.
Resolution 2025-324, resolution authorizing the appointment of public safety director of the city of Asbury Park. And authorizing the execution of an appointment agreement relating thereto. The appointee is John Higgins.
Move it.
Councilmember Bez Anderson.
Yes.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Yes.
Mayor. Moving on to ordinances for introduction. Bond ordinance 2025-16, providing for the various capital improvements. The acquisition of various capital equipment appropriating $3,101,000, therefore authorizing the issuance of $2,945,000 bonds to finance a portion of the cost thereof, authorized by the city of Park and County of Long Beach, with all period date of July 9th.
Move it.
Councilmember Bez Anderson. Councilmember Jackson. Councilmember Clayton. Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Yes.
Mayor.
Yes.
Moving on to ordinances for second reading, public hearing. I have ordinance 2025-14, amendments to Main Street redevelopment. Do I have a motion and will speak for public comment on ordinance 2025-14?
Second.
All in favor? Public comment on ordinance 2025-14 now open. Any members of the public who wish to speak, please microphone, speak your name, address for the record. Your comments may only be about ordinance 2025-14.
Give the job and that, but talk. Apologize for being late. But I didn't want to be caught up. I did want to address a couple of issues that we have on the job. Yeah. Close the public section on to this ordinance now. I apologize. Yeah, I get this in, it takes 3 minutes, but then I'll let you go. 15. I'll wait for it to get done. You were here. Go ahead. Thank you. Elimination of freedom of speech. Okay, now.
The public hearing on this ordinance 2025-14 amendments to the Main Street redevelopment, this section of the meeting is limited to comment on that particular ordinance.
We have a couple ordinances today, you can make your comments, I'll let you speak at the end.
Okay, well, I can speak at the end of that time.
That's why I let anybody else to go for me, please. Appreciate it. But, right, you don't want to jeopardize.
Good evening, Dana Kelly, 301 Sixth Avenue. You know, that's a subject for a different matter. I'm here regarding this ordinance, and I am also involved in our park, which is located on Main Street, across the street from the proposed location of the adult daycare center. We just have some concerns, and, you know, as people that have invested heavily in this city, when we made the decision to put our business there, we did our due diligence and we looked at the redevelopment zone, and we did see that, you know, it promoted commercial businesses. This ordinance is proposing is not a commercial business. And we just have concerns about how this is going to affect the dynamics of the area. We've made over requests to the township or to the municipality. We have not received any information yet, so we haven't been able to really formulate a strong argument, but we just really have concerns about the fact that this is supposed to be commercial in nature. It's supposed to be complementary to the other businesses in the area. So you have a facility that's going to be open during the day and then close, and it's not really bringing anything to the economics of the area. So we would just appreciate your consideration when you're voting on this.
Anybody else like to be heard on this ordinance?
Close.
All in favor? We have a motion to adopt ordinance 2025.
Move it.
Councilmember Dexter? Councilmember Chapman?
No.
Councilmember Deputy Mayor Quinn?
Yes.
Mayor Moore?
No.
Moving on to ordinance 2025-15, on ordinance providing for the community and fees appropriating $20 for authorizing the issuance of $4,000 bond to finance portion of the cost thereof. Authorizing any by the city manager. Do I move to open the meeting of ordinance 2025?
Second.
All in favor? Public comment on ordinance 2025-15 now open. Anyone else public who wishes to speak, please use the microphone, state your name, address for the record. Comments may only be about ordinance 2025.
And nobody motion to close.
Close.
All in favor? Do I motion to adopt ordinance 2025?
Second.
Councilmember Mason?
Yes.
Councilmember Chapman? Yes. Councilmember Clayton?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn?
Yes.
Mayor Moore?
No.
We're going to move on to the municipal budget.
Hold on 1 second. Danny? Got
Dan has 17 deaths as the cost of the resident of Asbury for 5 years at the state house.
recently we're going through dynamics that we haven't seen previously on the street on the job. Okay, it's mostly retired citizens, people who pay their taxes and were not violent people. Recently, my biggest concern basically,
Way to clear a room, Danny. All yours.
it's still. Basically, John, my concern is the influx of people in our neighborhood on a quiet little block, who basically people don't know the law of the city, but who have basically no regard for our way of living. I have called code enforcement, got very little thing done. We have people putting sofas on the front porch, not recliners on the front porch. That takes away from the quality of life in the neighborhood, and I would like to see something done about it. Okay, I mean, I don't mind if you put lawn furniture on your front porch, but you go out your house and see a 2-ton sofa on the front porch and construction materials. I think it takes away from the quality of life of us who live there. I hate to say call numbers out, but 11 Ridge Avenue, 56 Ridge Avenue, 1 Ridge Avenue, okay, they all got sofas on their front porch. Okay, I've never heard about that, okay? The second thing is people disrespect parking, okay? You got 168 hours in a week. The city asks people not to park on one side of the street for 2 hours. When the street cleaner comes through, people are parked there, street cleaner has to go around them, and the garbage stays there, okay? The street cleaner people do a wonderful job, okay? But I wish that the police department would start ticketing these people who continue to park with them when they're not supposed to park. Some of them basically can't read English, okay? It's not my fault that you can't read fourth grade English, but you're gonna have to move your car when you're supposed to move your car. That is a concern of mine. So I wish the city would be institute, just ticketing people who park during those 2 hours when they're not supposed to park, okay? Well, my big, and the final thing is people who leave junk out on the street for 2, 3, 4, 5 days, when you have 1 day to have your bulk picked up. There's a house next door to me again on 11 Ridge Avenue, which has had bulk parked in front of their house for 4 days. Okay, it hasn't gotten picked up, and I'm going next, and a couch. I'm going next door, John, just to eyes. I'm going next door. I told them, look, take that, put it behind the house until Friday, and they'll pick it up on Saturday. Okay, then they run this little big eight blessed, and I tell them, shut up, you know what I said. So I just asked the city would institute code enforcement and all that. This privilege is live with the city manager. This is not the first complaint I received from this area. It was by a city employee who lives across the street. Told me because he worked. Complaints have been constant, but nothing has done. Thank you, Tom. Maybe we can play with what's happening and this, and appreciate your courtesy. Thank you.
Moving on to this budget hearing. Do I have a motion to open the meeting? All in favor? State your name and address. Turn on the table, date out, 695.
Closed.
All in favor? Moving on to resolution 2025-320, 2025 budget amendment. Deputy Mayor Quinn? Yes. Mayor? Yes. Resolution 2025-321, resolution adopted, 2025. Councilmember Jackson? Councilmember Jackson? Councilmember Clayton? Deputy Mayor Quinn?
Yes.
Mayor? Yes. That's all we're saying, resolution closed. All in favor? Thank you, everyone. Have a good night.